Taxonomical aids. Taxonomic studies are useful for agriculture, forestry, industry, and in general knowing our bioresources and their diversity. So, what is taxonomical study? The collection of actual specimens of plants and animal species is essential and is a prime source of taxonomical studies. Means what? In taxonomical studies, we used to collect the specimens of plants and animals for further taxonomical studies. These are also fundamental to the studies and essential for training in systematics. Biologists have established a certain procedures and technique to store and preserve the information as well as specimens. Means what? In this we can store the specimens and preserve for longer times for further studies. Now herbarium. What is meant by herbarium? Herbarium is the storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dried, pressed, and preserved on sheet. The question may ask, what is herbarium? So you must know that herbarium is a storehouse in which we used to collect the specimens of plants, and we have to dry that plant, we have to press that plant on and preserve on the sheets. Means what? Drying, pressing, and preservation takes place in herbarium. Okay, the further studies are arranged according to the universally accepted system of classification. Next is herbarium sheet also carry a label providing information about date and place of collection. Here in herbarium we used to preserve plants, we used to dry them, we used to press them, and we used to preserve. After preservation, they used to carry a label providing information about date and place of collection. Means what is today's date, in what date we preserve this plant, and place of collection means what, from where we collect that plant, it must be labeled there. English local and botanical names, family, collector names, etc. means particular plant is preserved and we have to give a proper name and place of collection in English. Local and botanical name, we have to give local name, botanical name, family of that plant, and collector's name. Herbarium also serve as a quick referral system in taxonomical studies. Means what? Various plants are preserved in herbarium and we want any particular plant. So it is the best and quick referral system to find out any particular plant. Botanical gardens. These specified gardens have collection of living plants or reference. Now in herbarium we have a dried specimens of plants. Now in botanical gardens we are having live plants, living plant reference, that is called botanical garden. Plant species in these gardens are grown for identification purpose and each plant is labeled indicating its botanical and scientific name and its family. Here in botanical garden we are getting a live plant with their identification, with their names, with their family, with their botanical and scientific name labeled to a particular plant. A famous botanical garden are at Kew, England. The question may ask, previous year asked question is famous botanical garden. So you must know the famous botanical garden is situated in England, Kew, England. Then next question is Indian Botanical Garden. Indian Botanical Garden in Hora, India. This is also a previous year question. Then third is National Botanical Research Institute is situated in Lucknow. This three is most important question, that is famous botanical garden in Kew, England. Indian Botanical Garden in Hara, India. National Botanical Research Institute in Lucknow, India. These are the most important botanical garden. Museum. Biological museums are generally set up in educational institutes such as school and college. Means what? In school and colleges there are museums. We have to collect various collection of preserved plant and animal specimen to study and for reference. Museums. In museum there is a collection of preserved plant and animals specimens for their reference and studies. Likewise, we have bones, we have skeletons, we have teeth, we have nails, we have hairs in the museum. So specimens are preserved in container, jar, in preservative solution. These are the specimens which are preserved in preservative solutions. Plant and animal specimen may also preserve as a dry specimen. Plant and animal specimen can be preserved as a dry like bones, teeth, etc. Insects are preserved in insect boxes. How insects are preserved? Insects are preserved in insect boxes. The first step is killing and pinning. Means what? First the insect is collected, then killing process, then pinning process. This question is asked previously. Insects are preserved in insect boxes after collecting, killing and pinning. Larger animals like birds, mammals are usually stuffed and preserved. Means larger animals like birds and mammals, they can't be preserved in jar or solution in container. They have to stuff and they have to preserve. Museum often have a collection of skeleton of animals too. Yes, there is a skeleton also. Zoological parks. These are the places where wild animals are kept in protected environment under human care, which enable us to learn about the food habits and behavior. Like botanical garden, there was a live plants. Like in zoo park, there is a live animals in which there the human care is given to their animals and humans are learning about the food habits, their behavior, about the animals. All animals in zoo are provided as far as possible the conditions similar to the natural habits. Means natural conditions are provided for the animals in zoological park. So you can see this various pictures given in figure 1.3. Last one is key. Key means what? Key is the another taxonomical aid used for identification of plants and animals based on similarities and dissimilarities. Key is used for identification of plant and animal, their similarities, their dissimilarities. Key are based on contrasting characters generally in pair called couplet. This question is asked earlier. The key is also called as couplet. It represents the choice made between two opposite options. It results in acceptance of only one and rejection of another. Each statement in the key is called lead. This is also most important point for the exam point of view. The question may ask from here. Each statement of key is called lead. Key is also called as couplet. And key is used for identification of plant and animal in various similar and dissimilar conditions. The next is the separate taxonomical keys are required for taxonomic categories such as family, genus, species for identification purpose. Keys are generally analytical in nature. Last, flora, manuals, monographs and catalogs are some other means of recording description. They also help in identification. Flora, manuals and monographs and catalogs, they also help in correct identification. Okay, so flora contains actual amount of habitat and distribution of plant in given area. Most important question, previously asked question, that flora contains actual account of habitat and distribution of plants in various area. Next, these provide index to the plant species found in particular area. What flora does? It contains actual account of habitat and distribution of plant in particular area. Also, it provides index to the plant species. Next is manuals. Manuals are useful in providing information for identification of names and species found in area. Manuals are useful for identification of names of species found in area, means identification of names of species is useful for providing information are found in manuals. Monograph contain information of any one taxon. In monographs, it contain information only of one taxon. From these flora, manual and monograph, question is asked previously. It is very important for exam point of view. So this is a summary